I'm just going to enjoy some melatonin. I thought I would, because YouTube is so awesome, I'm just enjoying some melatonin that I bought from somewhere. I bought this in America. But I'm doing it, I just wanted to do a YouTube video because everyone's doing YouTube videos and everyone thinks that they're awesome. And everyone is like doing YouTube stuff. So I thought I'd do a bit more because I had at least one view on my other video and I'm pretty sure it wasn't me. Well, I did look at my video once, but I just wanted to do one the YouTube video where just you talk about something. In this case, the adverts on YouTube, because they're crap. I hate the adverts on YouTube. In fact, I don't really watch any YouTube, but what I do watch is the films. And I'm watching a film right now. No, this is how I watch my film. See? I mean, a lot of people get these sort of big screen TVs. You know, these widescreen TVs, but that's about as big as I've ever watched videos. So all this sort of like HD super screen stuff, it's all lost on me, especially porn. Not that I look at any porn, but when I don't look at any porn videos and it says allowing super huge resolution, all it means to me is super huge bandwidth. Not that that's really a problem these days anymore anyway. But anyway, that's all beside the point. What I'm trying to get to is the adverts just really do my head in, because I like to look at a little film in the background and the films are sort of fairly mundane and boring, and then you just get this stupid advert in the middle of the film. It's like watching ITV from like the 1970s or something as archaic as that. And the point I'm trying to get to, it's not just that they're irritating, it's actually, as far as I'm concerned, it's government propaganda, it's psychological propaganda, it's psyops, it's all there. It's not designed to actually sell products. No one, I look at these adverts and I cannot remember a single advert that was actually for anything in particular that I actually remember. They're just a bunch of poncy, government sanctioned, middle class, twatty, I'm so super clean women and happy couples and all that sort of stuff, designed to interrupt whatever sort of mental processing you're doing at the time, with their propaganda and psychological programming and conditioning. You know, their sort of ethnic integration and everyone being happy all the time. And I mean, obviously the thing is, I could not watch it, and to be quite honest, I understand that, and so there's always the option of just not watching it. But I think it is actually a relatively new thing. I mean, I spent quite a while watching what I always call the illegal downloads until about 3 years ago, and then I bought a Netflix and a Love Film account, which then became bastardized by Amazon, the Satan of retailing, and then I was paying like so much a month, and I just thought, this is crap, because Netflix and they're both the same. They don't actually have that. I see a wider range of films on YouTube than I did on Netflix. Netflix just didn't have enough films. Once you sort of once you start taking out what you don't like, what you wouldn't want to watch, you know, and all that, the range of films that they had on there was smaller than an average film collector's collection. I mean, I've only got about 20 DVDs, so they've got a larger collection. But I figured that if I spent the whatever money I was spending on Netflix, within 3 or 4 years I would have a larger collection of things to watch that I wanted to watch than they have. You know, I'd have to get to about, I mean, 36 DVDs, you know, that's 3 years. So, you know, give or take. But the point is, it wouldn't take that long to use that money to sort of, you know, to build my own collection. They really didn't have absolutely nothing. So, but there was no adverts on that. So then then I realised I can just watch stuff from on YouTube, and I don't care because I don't watch it. You know, all this stuff about blockbusters, who cares? It's all government propaganda these days. You know, there's not a single film out there that doesn't have like a perfect mix of multicultural idiots. It's sickening. You know, I'd much rather watch something from the 70s that basically had all white people in it. You know, I mean, that's just the way I am. But nowadays, you know, I'm sitting here and they're just adverts. And the thing is, they're not actually, you know, who makes these adverts? And they would actually think that anyone actually wants to watch them. You know, they must have some kind of feedback where they know whether someone has actually clicked on the get rid of this stupid advert within 5 second button. And they've spent how much? I mean, all adverts are is basically the front end of a business machine that's paying those sorts of poncy twats that actually go in the adverts, usually stupid women, you stupid middle class women who are sort of oh so happy and oh so just having such a clean and lovely life. That's what's happening. They're being paid to do that. You know, for what? To psychologically destroy your mind during, you know, periods of relaxation. You know, to integrate frustration and stress when you're trying to relax watching something, even if it's just a load of crap. No one watches these adverts. It's got to be the biggest and most. It's got to be. There's got to be some. You know, I can't believe that people are not just marching through the streets, you know, against these adverts. I mean, the thing with, I mean, YouTube is, I don't know. I just watched another video of someone talking about the adverts, so YouTube's got to make money. But no, YouTube doesn't have to make money. It's always built itself up. YouTube built itself up with the singular purpose of grabbing power. It was free videos. Whoever offers anything for free? No one offers anything for free. Facebook started up, it's all free. YouTube started up, it's all free. I mean, they're stuffing adverts in it, but their primary objective is to gain the power base of being the digital content provider for films and such like that, and wiping out all the competition so that they can control it. And I mean, the thing is, there are probably other video channels. I just never really get to sort of, you know, I never really bother looking too much. I'm so bloody tired. But so I mean, it's just, there's got to be something. The world has got to do, you know, sort of somehow say no to these adverts on YouTube, because, you know, that's the end of the world. I mean, we moved away from absolute crap called the television to a world where we could choose almost what we were looking at. But these days you can't go anywhere. I build websites, and I've got a few. There, here we go.
And I've helped millions of net-savvy tech junkies to love Mondays. I can help you too.
No, you can't, mate. Fuck off. You know, I hate that. Who's that bloke? He was wearing a blue jacket and a cheesy moustache, and you know, we moved away from that. You know, and it's not just YouTube. The whole internet is just full of adverts, and it's all government propaganda. That's basically what it is. There's nothing absolutely nothing that people want. If people want something, then they will look for it. They will go out and look for it. Now, Google has a thing called, I can't remember what it's called, it's got a name, and it follows you around, and you can opt out of it, but no one knows how to opt out of it, because to opt out of it, you've got to solve the Sphinx's riddle, and Sphinx's riddle is an unsolvable puzzle, so you can't actually figure out how to opt out of it. I know the name of it, I can't remember what it is. So, and that sort of works, but it's irritating because it's a bit like an evil government following you around. So if you've been looking at something like, you know, holidays, whenever you go onto another site, you see more adverts for holidays, or more usually, if you've been to some sort of holiday site or somewhere, you've been on a site, the adverts for that site follow you around, and that sort of works because you see it and you think, oh yeah, I better do that. But I mean, I think that's just a very small thing, because you've already been there, you've already got that intention. All that is doing is following you around. It's not as though you didn't have the intention to buy a holiday. You know you wanted to buy a holiday, you've been to look at the holiday site, and now you've got these adverts for that holiday site following you around. It might be something else. But the thing is, I think that adverts should be banned everywhere, because they are actually forcing you subconsciously to lose your money. I mean, I'm talking in particular about adverts in the street. You know, adverts at bus shelters, adverts when you're driving down the motorway or the roads. You know, I've been on the impression, you know, because it's all government propaganda. It's just there to make you feel stupid. I mean, how many people actually buy a car because of an advert that they saw? No one. If people want a car, they go out and buy one. If people want a luxury car, a nice big Mercedes or a BMW, they know that already. They know where the BMW showroom is. They'll go there on a Sunday afternoon and look around. They don't need an advert to prompt them to do that. Most people are not in the market to buy a brand new car. Most people buy a second-hand car. The market of people that buy brand new cars is actually pretty small. And they're not buying a car every day. Most people buy a car like once every 5 or 10 years. And, you know, some people will buy a car every year because then they sell it on. And so they're pretty tight with how that works. And it's you have to already have a bit of money. But the thing is, they're not thinking, oh, I wonder which sort of car I'm going to buy. They pretty much already know. They're in a lifestyle. They've chosen their car based on their lifestyle. They're going to buy the same car, maybe a bit of a different model, maybe a different make, whatever. They don't care. They just want a brand new car. That's what they want. They want a brand new car. It could be a BMW, it could be a Mercedes, but they're not going to buy a crappy second-hand van. You know. But the thing is, adverts are not there to sell the cars. They're there to make everyone else feel stupid about having a crappy car. And it's the same with everything else. You know, adverts for sort of like investments and stuff. It should all be banned. Every single advert should be banned, because it doesn't serve the common good for anyone. It only serves a very small minority of potential customers, and pisses the hell out of everyone else, and they don't even know it. Subconsciously, they just accept it all. And you know, my opinion is, if you want to buy something, you go to the shops. You seek out the appropriate place to actually make a purchase. So if you're interested in a new car, you do the research. You don't need adverts. And it's the same on YouTube. All this stuff, all these adverts. If you go and look at a news site, the adverts are only there for the singular purpose of supporting the news site. Most news companies would be uneconomical. They would be unprofitable if they didn't have adverts. It's got nothing to do with a fair and reasonable balance of anything. You know, they're monetizing their sites. Now I've got some sites and I monetize them, and I get sod all because they don't get any traffic, because no one ever looks at anything I do. But I've got a couple of sites and I don't monetize them, and it's because it's not appropriate. You know, they're entirely free, mostly because it's sort of adult content. Well, it's not. but Google thinks this is adult content because I use swearing words and I'm an idiot. And basically, adverts are crap, you know. But I think the point I'm trying to get to here is that a lot of these adverts, they're not just crap. The business models that they're surrounding are just false. No one is actually clicking on these adverts and thinking, "Oh God, I'm going to go and buy this." But these people put in a lot of money to get the ads, and then they put in, and then people are collecting a lot of money. I think the point I'm trying to get to is so many sites are actually monetized on ads, and it's their reason to be. And I've seen sites that sort of, they're saying we're desperate for money, we've got to, pay for our servers. That's always a joke because servers are pretty cheap. And you sort of think, well, hang on, if you actually had a proper business, a proper website, you wouldn't need adverts to monetize your site. I mean, the thing is, I run sites, and some of them are pretty popular, and I don't need money to make them work. I just think that so many sites that are just sort of falsely based around more adverts than there are content, and it's just stupid. If I go to a news site, I don't want to see sort of like 25 adverts for things that I'm just never going to want to buy. I want to actually read the news content, and the news content is usually this small little bit stuffed inside hundreds of adverts. And even, I mean, it was years ago, people would get all sort of faffed up about pop-ups, pop-ups, that's so like last century, who does pop-ups anymore? But they're still doing it. Pop-ups are still there. I mean, but people don't really talk about it anymore, but they're still there. Nowadays, instead of just popping up like they used to, the screen goes black. I think it's called a black screen or something, dark screen. The whole screen sort of goes back, and it's still a pop-up because it's based on JavaScript and not on a pop-up HTML, which is slightly different technology. It's still a pop-up. It's still exactly the same thing. And it's just stupid. The internet is just a huge pile of crap these days, and I mean, I can't complain because I don't pay for YouTube. I mean, I used to pay for Netflix and it was rubbish. Everyone is producing absolute rubbish these days. Everything is rubbish. I pay for so many things and it's just a load of crap. Even Google is just a huge pile of crap these days, where it's government engineered. What you see is what the government wants you to see. Even the news is as dishonest as the day is long. Telling you what they want you to know, not actually what's in the news. But yeah, so that's I thought I'd do this little video. I saw this video, this bloke, and he was doing the same thing, and like he's obviously younger than me, but it seems to be that you just create a video, and then everyone thinks, oh look, there's a video, I'll go and watch that bloke have a moan about pop-up ads or adverts on YouTube. And I mean, these adverts on YouTube, they're just absolutely rubbish. You just got to put your mind into it. What are they actually trying to achieve? Think about it. What are they trying to achieve with their adverts? Do they seriously believe that someone is going to look at their advert and think, I've got to go out and purchase that, or I've got to go out? No, they're not. It's not. That's not what it's all. Adverts have never been about that. It's all about psychologically conditioning the public. The people that are involved in the advert machine are basically involved with PR. Now, PR is called public relations, but PR used to actually be propaganda. That was a perfectly good name for what it is. Bernays, Edward Bernays, he was like you know, the main guy in, you know, changing people's mindsets. I don't think you could. I don't think it's fair to say that that adverts don't sell anything. You know, a lot of them do, and a lot of people, especially Google ads. Google ads are pretty effective if you're in the right business. But a lot of people sort of, you know, I mean, there are a lot of people that sort of will will click on an advert and will actually purchase something. I mean, there are things that do work like that, but I think the thing with Google ads is that you're looking for something. You're actually looking. If you go in there and type in, for example, I'm interested in a new laptop, so I want a 4 nanometer processor. They're not out yet, Broadfield or Skylark, whatever they're calling, you know. But I will type in, you know, whatever it is, you know, latest i7 Intel processor. They're coming out in mid 2015. But I'll sort of look for that. I'll go to Google and look for that. But that's because I'm looking, and if there's an advert, that's fair enough. But when I'm looking at a news site, I'm not looking for that. I'm looking for sort of like, you know, who's died today. You know, I mean, that's, you know, I like a cat fallen out of a tree and got run over by a steamroller. You know, I want to read that news story. And there's actually no advertising that's going to be associated with that. It's going to interest me. And the same with YouTube. I like to watch horror films. I just like to watch, especially young people, like gang of college kids, as this one is, who've gone into an abandoned nut house, psychiatric hospital. It's all abandoned, and they're getting attacked by this strange person. You know, I like it when they're all getting hacked to bits with swords and knives and, you know, strange people that they can't kill, and etc, etc. There's no adverts, you know, there's nothing, you know, nothing that they could pop up that could possibly actually have any relevance to me to start off with, and secondly, interest. It's just absolutely bullshit. And I did watch, I look at my traffic levels a lot, and I looked at one traffic item that was, I could almost tell you what it was if my mouse was working. My mouse has stopped working. Look at that. It was WeSee.com, and they do, what do they do? They do, let me try and click it. The mouse is not working. I have to use this stupid thing. I thought what they did was sort of interesting. What we do. Content visualization. And I thought, how does that work? I'm not advertising these people. Go and have a look at their website, WeSee.com. I don't know what, I can't actually even figure out what they do, but they seem to be inferring that the internet is a visual medium, and that they will place ads based on the visual content as opposed to the word content of a page. Now that all sounds fine, but I don't really understand how it works, because I don't understand how anyone would ever actually utilise WeSee as an advertising platform. If it was technology that Google applied, say on its associate networks, then I could see that maybe being relevant. But, you know, so what it's sort of, it's got a little picture here, I'll show you. The web in 2002, the web in 2012. So what it's saying there is that in 2012 most websites are more visual, and so what they're trying to do is scan the visual elements of the page and then generate advertising that reflects what you're after. So if you're looking at sort of like, so what they're saying is that the internet is more visual, and then they're sort of just, you know, creating a visual match So if you're looking at a page full of kittens, they'll show adverts for people that are also selling kittens, you know, etc., etc. But I can't really see how that actually works. But it's interesting that even people can be asked to even think about things like that. I just think all advertising should be banned. You know, we have the perfect medium for finding what we want. People shouldn't be forced into, you know, weak-minded people like me maybe. You know, we don't want to sort of sit there and think, oh, hang on, I mean, I get all this stuff. All I have to do is go to Amazon and look at something, or eBay. I hate eBay because I spend so much money. I'm weak-willed, and I blame eBay, and they keep sending me, oh, you looked at this today, it's nearly gone, do you want it? And then I go back there and I spend some money, and I think that that's predatory, because I don't want it. I mean, they could say, oh, I should just get a life or something. I know, I have actually cancelled my eBay account before, and it's easier said than done. Especially because you've got to actually settle all your debts first, and I don't even know how you can have debts, but yeah, I managed to get rid of it, and then I went back and got it again. But I think that all advertising should be banned, and the reason I think all advertising should be banned, more than not, is because then it will sort the wheat from the chaff. And what I mean by that is so many websites and so many web businesses, they're not actually businesses, they're just platforms for advertising. That's all they are, made for Google. And you know, they're not even just the old tacky ones that we used to have. I mean, they're major enterprises. Most regional newspapers, most local newspapers are actually worth nothing without their advertising. There's stuff full of advertising. That's why I'm proud to run a large number of sites that do not have advertising, and none of my sites rely on advertising, none of them. I have a few that carry ads, and I do have a few that I've made specifically to carry Google ads, but they've still got very good content, not so much good content, that, you know, what they actually do is actually, you know, important, but they could all survive without the advertising, because most websites can. You know, all these people that say, oh, we need this for the servers, you know, I mean, you've got to appreciate that if you're generating content, you're going to have to put a little bit of an outlay, especially in time. I mean, time is money. You know, I mean, I've got a few websites, and I spend hours and hours and hours on them, and there's not an advert on them, and I don't generate any money. I do it because I like it. I do this video not for money, because I'm just doing it because I feel like it. You know, and you know, this is crappy content, but you know, some of the stuff that I do is actually high quality and sort of well done. And you know, but if all advertising was banned, the only content we'd have on the internet would actually be quality content. You know, I mean, it wouldn't mean that people wouldn't be able to create crappy websites, but you would not have anything that was playing second fiddle to its content, you know, playing, you know, against the advertising, because that's all they're doing. You know, and that's what YouTube is now, almost to some extent. It's just a huge platform for showing government-sanctioned psychological programming, conditioning adverts, you know, where everyone's so squeaky clean. It's not. I mean, you know, I get sick to death of these pictures of, like, happy mums with their little children, and it's sort of like, you know, why don't they ever have adverts with people like me that just sort of, like, you know, want to do things that are so politically incorrect that they would be banned from the TV. You know, they just do not communicate to me in any way. You know, there's nothing I want to buy. You know, what I'd like to see is adverts. Hey, have you rummaged through us, you know, a waste skip recently? You'll get some really great bargains in a waste skip, and then they can show like one of these clean, happy mums going through a waste skip with her little children saying, hey little Timmy, look, I found you this old teddy. He'll do okay once we've washed him up and got all this shit off of him. You know, great bargains to be had in waste skips and rubbish dumps. You know, but they don't do that because they're not interested in people saving money. So, you know, so I just created this little video, and I'll have to upload it, and it'll get 2 views from me and probably me. And I just think that if you're thinking about crappy advertising on YouTube, then you're not alone. I think the whole world wants YouTube to stop showing these stupid adverts and just you know its initial premise was the free content, and that was because it wanted to destroy all the competition. The only thing that we're going to have to do is to find an alternative, because anyone can do what YouTube does with just a little bit of effort. Distributed computing, distributed video distribution. We've already got it really to a larger extent. I mean, there's loads of porn channels. They all seem to do it without. Who the hell funds porn? All these porn sites. They seem to have bundles of streaming media. What's the point with all that? That's because ownership of whatever medium you're dealing with is power. And that's what people want. That's what Google has got. That's what YouTube has secured itself. It's secured itself the power. And now on top of that power, it's trying to generate some revenue. But hopefully it'll be the end of YouTube, and something else FreeTube will come along, and it will be guaranteed no ads. We do it because we can. I mean, they were generating money before in some ways. It's like Facebook. I mean, it became an IPO. Worth billions of pounds. Why? I could write Facebook like Mark Zuckerberg, or whatever his name was, did in an evening. And I've done similar things. The basic premise of being able to upload your photo and all the rest of it is just baubles and decorations and gizmos. But anyway, yeah. So I thought I would share that, because I know that you're really interested and excited to hear what I have to say about stupid YouTube ads. I'm going to leave it there and upload it. Honest.